everyone. I am your host Shashi with you all on Global Women Dialogue Talk Show to create more voice for women and by women. As you are aware, we are bringing here each time a very well experienced and knowledgeable speaker who has gained experience in her field through her work, through her experiences, and as well as through lots of renowned established award and books as well. So in the same series, our today's speaker, she's connecting with us from Cornwall, Ontario, Canada, Elizabeth Jean Olivia. She is a famous published best-selling international co-author, keynote speaker. She is the founder and creator of Miss Lee's Tea Time and Parties. As this, we will hear from her what is the all about. Along with that, she is a Global Peace Challenge 2020 ambassador for Canada. She is a former International Secretary of Human Rights and Social Justice Federation. She is International Rotary Club for Great Britain and Ireland, member for Peace Envoy and chairman for Gender Equality. She is advocate and change maker for mental health, abuse, grief, and peace for humanity. As you are hearing from me about her work, you are hearing how and what kind of work she is doing. But we will hear from our speaker by how she is making it in real life by changing people's life through her work. So let's join our hand together and welcome our today's speaker, Miss Elizabeth from Canada. Welcome, Elizabeth, on our Global Women Dialogue Talk Show.
Well, thank you so much, first of all, for having me and for reaching out. It is an honor to be here and to have this moment so that we can bring awareness to women and to empower one another. So thank you.
Thank you, Elizabeth. First of all, it's great privilege to have you on our show. As I was going through by your biodata, it's really impressive. It shows how much work you are doing, not only in Canada, but all around the globe. How you're helping women through your writing, through your work, through your humanitarian work. So let's start talking about first as a humanitarian work, because many times it's been misunderstood what exactly is this, how the difference between humanitarian or philanthropic work as well as professional life. Would you like to share, because as you have done lots of work, and it would be nice to bring into our audience what exactly it means.
Well, for me, humanitarian work is determination and commitment. Those are two things that you need to have to do humanitarian work, because it is volunteer. It is not a paid position. It is all volunteer. So for me, humanity means a lot to me. It means to make a difference for my brothers and sisters of all nations, not just my country, but everywhere. So, and that's why it is really important for me to do that type of work. It fills me and it fills my soul inside to know that I'm helping another person somewhere out there by just being me, you know, and showing up and showing others that it can be done if you are committed.
Right. And as you said, this means commitment. This means dedication without looking for any benefit. And as we are seeing, you are, organizing since long Miss Liz tea parties or tea times with the host, with Miss Liz. So here we were reading and we were going through by your website. You are helping women to create those magical events by sharing those stories, their experiences or trauma, how it works and how it helps. Would you like to share about it?
Well, Miss Liz has started. It is my official business. It is a registered business, first off. It started in 2015 in September. And then I wanted to get back to the community that helped me. As you read in my bio, that we will be talking about a little bit in a bit, is the abuse. So I wanted to get back to the services that helped me by bringing a magical event and having a simple cup of tea and connecting and sitting with people that you probably wouldn't have never sat with if you wouldn't have come to a tea party. because when you're at a tea party, you're more relaxed, you're more at ease, you know, it feels homey and friendly. So you feel welcome, right? Where if you go to a board meeting, it's like business and do your thing and get out. With me, it's stay as long as you want and share, connect, and get to know one another.
Right.
Well, the tea time started in 2020 when we had to pivot because of COVID. We had to decide, me as a person, a business person, I needed to decide if I was going to give up the tea parties or if I was going to find a different way of continuing on. And for me, the virtual tea time was what came about. Right. And becoming the peace ambassador for Global Peace Challenge 2020 project, which is no longer running. It was running for the 1 year, but we have stayed connected, all of us ambassadors, and we're still working together on different projects. So for me, it was the connection. I wanted that connection, and I wanted the connection worldwide, not just locally, because there's so many different incredible people out there that are not being seen, not being heard. And what better way than just sitting and having a cup of tea and finding out what people's tea are? Because for me, tea time is not a beverage, it's the connection. It's understanding the person I'm sitting and actually having tea with.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. And when you're talking about bringing through this pandemic, this kind of approach and have, expanding your work from local to global and helping globally. So when we are talking all about what kind of experience, if you would like to share maybe a few stories or a few experiences where you felt it was like, yes, they really got something great out of that.
Well, a couple of my tea time guests have actually had interviews afterwards, have written a book, have reached out and gotten donations for their organizations or foundations because people didn't know about them because there was no knowledge of them. So by having a tea time, they were actually heard and seen. And my biggest thing is to stay connected even after the tea time, because a lot of podcasts and programs that are out there, they interview, but they don't stay connected after. And I'm about staying connected and growing before, during, and after my tea times. And what I do is I do something different because I am different. And that's how I run my life, is being different, is I do reunion shows. So at the end of the year, I bring back all of the guests that I've had within the year. So last year I had done 76 tea times. And at the end of the year, I closed it up by inviting everybody back. So, and then the ones that couldn't make it because of different time zones, different countries, they sent in videos, they sent in thank you messages, testimonies, recommendations. It really is making a difference because people, I'm seeing the impact, the friendships. On my reunion show, 3 of the guys became best friends and they're still friends today. So if they weren't on tea time, they wouldn't have found each other and wouldn't have known about each other because they're in different countries. So that's what tea time is about. It's the connection.
Yeah, that's so true. And as you are talking about bringing together and keeping them connection, you are very famous, and as well as you are co-author of Sacred Hearts Rising analogy book, which is in the volumes 1, 2, 3. Would you like to share what exactly it contains, how it can help readers or our listeners who are listening and watching us by reading this book?
Well, first off, Sacred Hearts Rising was compiled by Brenda Hammond, and the last book is coming out next year in the spring, which I'm writing in his book for. And for me, it was a journey with Sacred Hearts. It was chapter by chapter. I gave a little bit of each of my stories because my story is such a hard story to read all at once. It's a very heavy story. I've been through a lot, but I'm not a person that wants pity or feel sorry for me. I want you to, when you read my story, I want you to see where I came from and where I am now.
Right.
So that's the message that I like to give. So with Sacred Hearts Rising, in book 1, I wrote about child abuse. In book 2, I wrote about double grief, the loss of my living children and my child that passed from stillborn. And in book 3 was mental health. And in book 4, I'll be writing about domestic violence.
Right. Yeah, and as you shared about that, you are bringing your own life story in this book. We have seen and we have go through by your website, but many of our audience would be interested to know a bit more about you as a person and your life journey, how it how you have gone through by what kinds of ups and downs, what kind of challenges you had, but as you are still persevering and your resilience to on your path of what you want to become, what you want to achieve, how you maintain all these. Would you like to share this?
Well, for me, it was a journey, right? There was a little girl in me that never wanted to give up.
Mm-hmm.
That little girl you can see in the back here, that's me when I was 4. And that's when I had my first cup of tea with my Oma. And she's the one that called me Miss Liz. And I always wondered why she called me Miss Liz. And now today I understand why she called me Miss Liz. I am Miss Liz. So it was messages that she was giving to me to understand that my future was going to be big and there was going to be big changes. And it was meant to be heard and seen. Growing up, I was ignored. I was abandoned, neglected. Even into my adulthood, I was betrayed by family, and I needed to learn to stand on my own. And I think that's where the resilience comes from, by learning to stand on my own and knowing that it's okay to be different and, stand out and that. So changing the mind thoughts and the mindset and all that has a lot to do with it as well.
Right.
So when a lot of people read my story, or if they want to reach out and get to know a little bit more about me, and that, just know that the message that I want to give to everybody is don't give up.
Right.
Just don't give up.
Right. So, Elizabeth, when you are talking about all those experiences or all unwanted, this bad kind of happened to you, which is sad to hear, but many times it maybe makes or breaks. That's what sometimes we say, and especially in the case of women, and we are on a women dialogue talk show. So what the way you want to share that what kind of spirit you was having in your, because as you shared, it was very tender age. It wasn't like very mature or someone who is having gone through by a lot of experiences. As you shared, in very young age you experienced that, but you got that sense of resiliency, you got the sense of perseverance. So what way it came through, what kind of thing came in your mind in particular those moments, and maybe what was thought behind that, how you got that. This is all, it's curious for me, and as well as I believe for our audience as well.
Well, for me, it's tea. That's what saved me, was tea. I want to get into a little bit why tea saved me, because as a little girl, I had that tea with my great grandmother from Germany. And when I had my first cup of tea, I drank it like really fast. Of course, kids drink it really fast. And my Oma, she's like, no. Try this again. And I was like, oh, and she's from Germany, and she was from Germany. So she had this really firm voice and this, so I thought I was always in trouble, and I wasn't. Like my Oma really loved me. But she was like, I want you to sit and I want you to reflect and recharge and release. And as a little girl at the age of 4, you don't understand these words. You don't get these words.
Right.
As I grew, I understood what she meant. And I always turned to a cup of tea to give me strength. And I prayed with my tea to ask for strength and for guidance. Because there's many times that I wanted to just give up, living with mental health or suicidal thoughts and stuff like that. But I'm here today because my tea wanted me to be here. I needed to be here to give this message to everybody out there. Yeah. That the little things in life, we overlook them because we just look. We don't see. That's the difference. A lot of people will look, but they don't see. So we need to learn to look and see within ourselves. Like we shared before we started the program, sharing on domestic violence. Staying hidden, staying away in our cup, not actually showing who we truly are because we're broken down and, told that we're no good and everything. So our tea gets weak, we get weak.
Right.
So what do we do to survive? We have to build our tea. We have to put ourselves in some hot water, some really uncomfortable situations, and just really grow from it. Keep that tea bag in a little longer and know that we can make it. So when you look at tea, don't look at tea as a beverage. Look at it as a strengthening tool, like a tool to stay strong. We're going to have weekdays. We're going to have middle days. We're going to have hard days, but we're going to have strong days at the end of it. If we stay connected and we work together, and empower one another, because that's one thing that I've really has kept me strong, is by having a fellow sister, a fellow woman, give me the strength to make another day, because the sisterhood is an empowerment thing. And women sticking together is strength. It makes a strong tea. So just stay connected. Like, again, connection. We need to stay connected and really just look at who we are and be proud of who we are. There was days I wasn't proud of myself. I've made choices in life that I could have made better, but I didn't know. But I grew from it, and I educated myself, and I am who I am today. And I'm working towards my future, and that's what we need to do. So for me, tea is the past, the present, and the future. So your TEA. So like on tea time, I'll ask every guest, what does tea mean to you? And give me a word for each letter.
Right.
And by the time they give me their 3 words, I can tell and I can know what type of life they've had and where they're going. Because most people will give me a letter travel or transparency or transformation or trouble. Those are T words. For E words, empowerment, encouragement, element, energy. That's the present. We do all of these things in the present. And then in the future, awareness, authority, attitude. Those are all things of the future. If we don't change our attitude, we can't get to the future. If we don't take authority for our life or advocate for our lives, we can't get to the future. So that's your T. So, and I don't tell any of my guests what their tea is. They tell me. So that's what tea time is. And that's what's kept me strong is tea. Just a simple cup of tea.
Right. Yeah, I think that's very powerful way to analyze, and the analogy about tea, as you shared, how one can see the sipping a cup of tea, but having those analogy in their mind when they are doing or enjoying those moments. So, Elizabeth, when we are talking about tea time as well as a lot of, in current scenario, when this pandemic is going on, a lot of mental health issues are rising, and you work for mental health issues as well. As you shared domestic violence, you are going to write about the book as well. So I personally have noticed, because I have written my book as well on this, and by seeing in community, in society, a lot of cases of domestic violence and mental health cases rising, like a very sharp shift towards upside. What way you are seeing this kind of things, and if you are seeing this, what can be a good solution for helping those people, or reaching out to them, or making them aware that that's the thing? And because many societies still have the stigma about all these issues, and especially when we are bringing a women community, they still don't share about it. So what would you like to talk about it?
Well, I honestly, to be honest with you, I don't think that it's ever going to change. That, and we need to be honest with ourselves. Until we start speaking out, until we start actually working on getting better results, different laws, different protection rights enforced, things won't change. Because the thing with domestic violence, it's behind a hidden door most times. Sometimes it's in the public, most times it's in the privacy of a home, privacy of a business, privacy. And for me, domestic violence is not just with a spouse. Domestic violence is with parents. It starts with the home. It's patterns and cycles that are learned. If you're a child that grows up in domestic violence, 7 out of 10 women will become involved in domestic violence. 7 out of 10. That number scares me because that started with the home. That started with the parents. That didn't start with the spouse. That started with the home base. So we need to fix the home base first in order to teach women that what you were raised in does not mean that you need to be involved in again to continue. A lot of women will go out and seek what they know because that's all they know, right? They know that daddy hits mommy, so they need to find a man who's going to hit them because that's all they know. That's what they think love is. For me, that's what I thought it was. Abuse after abuse was, that's love. They're telling me they love me, but they're beating me. You know, so it's the mindset. We really need to change the mindset and just get open and start talking about it and start writing about it. Like you said, over 400 cases. That's 400 cases too many. You know, when do we start as women to start protecting each other and get involved? One thing that I mention all the time is I wish somebody would have just asked if I really was okay. If they could help. A lot of people are scared to get involved. A lot of people are scared to, you know, ask and reach out because maybe they're scared of what's going to happen, consequences of helping that woman, you know? Will they be banished from their community? Will they, you know, the stigma, how dare you get involved? That's their personal life, you know, all of that different stigmas. So we need to break the stigma, first of all. And mental health, 8 out of 10 people who have lived a domestic violence suffers from mental health. Because we're broken down. We're broken into pieces because that's what they do, right? Abusers, that's what they do. They break us down. I do a lot of research, a lot of trying to understand why we are in the society that we are, you know? And that's why I wanted to involve different communities and different nations and countries with Tea Time to understand what other people are going through, not just in Canada, but worldwide, because it affects worldwide. Domestic violence is not just in Canada. Domestic violence is in every country out there. So we need to bring that awareness, right? We need to break the stigma, just cut the chains and just reach out, stay connected, you know, whether it's through a text message or an email, a phone call, a quick pop in, hey, how are you doing? A simple cup of tea at a friend's house, you know, watch the signs because the signs are there. A lot of people say, oh, I've never seen this. If you were really watching and seeing, not just looking, but seeing, again, back to that seeing, you would have seen the signs.
Yeah, that's so true. And as you shared about the most important one has to be aware, not in just only between the husband wife, but how it starts at very early age, even with parents and inside the home. And many times it has been noticed, people are even, they are not aware in many cultures. So when we are talking all about, definitely it leaves long lasting those impacts on the child brains and their lifelong, you know, whether they are wherever they are living or traveling or working, it leaves those impacts. So how and what way do you feel in those societies such mechanism can be developed to make the parents or in that homely environment to understand?
Honestly, I this is how I feel that it would make a difference. Having a tea party. People talk when they're having tea because people feel relaxed. People will open up. People will ask for help. Just have a tea party. Like just spread Miss Liz around the world and just have a tea party. You don't need me there personally, but just say, you know what? I heard Miss Liz say, have a tea party. And I'm going to save 3 women's lives today just by sitting and having tea. Or I'm going to save 10 women's lives today because I'm having a tea party. Keep it simple. Simple little things will make a difference. And men won't catch on. Men won't. And even if men are listening or will watch this program, you won't get it. You don't get it. And Even if you see a bunch of women starting having tea parties, maybe they just want to have a connection. They just want to get together. They not
Right.
abuse women. I'm not saying
Right.
that every tea party out there that's coming out is going to be about abused women, but it is a way for women to feel comfortable and safe to speak.
Right.
And I don't only work for women, I work for men too, because there are abused men out there as well.
Right.
But I am a woman, so I do stand behind women's rights and women's gender equality and all that, because I feel that we have a right to be treated the same way, equal. Right. Not men above women and not women above men, equal. Right. That's how we're going to make a difference in this world.
So, Liz, I will call you Liz. And Liz, when we are talking about gender equality and human rights, you are a chairperson for gender equality as well. And we all are aware, we have this as a global organization called UN and many more. They have, Universal Declaration of Human Rights and gender equality and a lot of what we are lacking, why these organizations are lacking to create those equality or those basic human right norms in general in our life, whereas we know we are also fighting for the same thing and they are also promoting the same thing. Where is the connection gap we are having? Is this, you think, the governance system or the government system or something else which creates gap in between the human as well as these organizations who's carrying the same value?
My biggest thing is a lot of organizations don't have the passion, don't have the heart, and are starting without understanding. A lot of them are book smart, but not life smart, if that makes sense. Because a lot of people that start organizations have never gone through it, have never lived it. So for them to come in and say, we're going to make it better, we're going to fix this, we're going to do this, but they haven't lived it. How can you fix something you've never lived? Something you've never gone through? You've never been beaten, but you're going to fix a beaten woman. How can you? You don't understand what that beaten woman has gone through, you know? And the gender equality, why it's struggling so much, and because I do so much research on this and I work with so many different programs out there, is now the women have turned around and say, I'm better, I matter, I'm this. So you're devaluing the male now instead of just being equal. So we all are equal people, equal human beings, not women above men, not men above women. Let's work together to make a difference. And let's really, truly, the men would support us if we weren't so, I'm better than you now, I'm a woman, give me this right. We're not fixing nothing by doing that. The only thing we're fixing is egos. You're just fixing egos. You're not fixing nothing. You're not creating any difference in the world by doing that. These feminist groups and women, I've had many come at me and say, you know, how dare you support a man? I have a son, and that's why I support a man, because I want my son to have services. I want my son to know that he is equal. He is not above me. He is not below me. He is equal. And that's how we're going to make a difference with gender equality, is by working together, not against each other. It's with anything, to break any type of stigma on mental health, abuse, grief, we need to work together.
You're right.
You know, the competition needs to stop. The comparison needs to stop. And it isn't generational cycles of 500 years ago, men above women, women obey men. That doesn't work in my book. You know, respect is earned, not asked for. You got to work for it. So if you want a woman to respect you as a man, you need to respect your woman. If you're beating your woman, you're not respecting your woman. So how do you want her to respect you if you're beating her down?
Right.
Instead of building her up and supporting her and encouraging her to go for her dreams as well. That's what we need to do. And that's how gender equality is going to change, is by working together, not against each other, you know?
And when we are talking about gender equality and all, you have worked and you are working for Women Transition House, Sexual Abuse Services, and bereaved family services, and in many ways you help those women, those have gone through by such unexpected or those events which are really heartbroken. So when we talk about how one can reach out to you if they are looking for such kind of support or such kind of help.
Well, for anybody that wants to have any help at all, I'm good at listening. I'm good at sitting and just letting you talk and share. Mm-hmm. Working with different women from transition houses and bereaved families for many years. We all grieve and we all survive in different ways. Mm-hmm. We all bring something different to the table. Mm. Right? Again, it's back to that cup of tea. We're all different blends and flavors. So we have to deal with each person differently. We can't give the same recipe to the same woman when that woman hasn't gone. We might have similarity stories. We might have gone through something similar, but we can't give the same to each woman. We have to just take the moment to understand, okay, this lady here has suffered from mental health because of domestic violence of 20 years. This woman here has been in a domestic violence of 5 years, but her mental health is even worse than the woman who has dealt for 20 years. Because one thing that I learned, I was in a relationship, I was married for 16 long years of hell. I've lost half of my hearing because of being a gunshot near my head. I've been stabbed, I've been poisoned. So for me, it was just, I want to give women the understanding that no matter what your story is, your story matters and you can make a difference, and we need to work together. You know, stop judging, stop comparing, stop saying, okay, well, I was in it for 20 years. You were only in it for 5 years. Mine's worse than yours. Each story cannot be compared, because each person's pain is their own pain. You can't compare somebody else's pain. I can't compare somebody's pain that only lived at 5 years compared to my 16 years. I can't, because she might have went through a lot more. She might have felt differently. She might have had that support where I might have not had the support. Each story is different. So we can't compare. You know, we just have to understand. Take the time to understand, because everybody's story is different, and we all have a cup of tea. We all have a story, right?
So, Liz, this is really heart touching. And when you are talking about understanding and without judging, respecting each story, whereas it's been noticed or it's been in media, it has been propagated like women pull down each other, whereas men support each other. And they gossip each other, whereas we are talking about, building stories or developing stories for generation or for yourself. And we are on a platform where you are developing, and we are here as well on the Global Women Dialogue. Why such kind of norms are in media, and if we are trying to break those, those meanings and those definition, those has been created in media. What it takes?
Well, for one, we need to start supporting one another. And men are right. Women gossip. We're good gossipers. Let's just get it out there. We like to gossip. Let's be. I'm a real cup of tea. I say it like it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. I'm really honest and deep and truthful. You know, if we start being honest with ourselves, who we really are, what we're really doing, I think we judge and we compare because we want what that woman has. If they're having a good relationship, we want that good relationship. If we're having a bad relationship, if they have that education, we want that education. We feed for it. We're women. We're nurturers. We want to nurture, but we also nurture in a way that hurts ourselves. We'll take care of everyone else but ourselves. So we have to learn to take care of ourselves first. And for things like men have it right. Like, women are competing. I don't know why. because I'm a woman who feels that if I empower and support another sister's growth and celebrate her growth, then we all win. So if they win, I win. Because
Right.
women, you know, if we stick together, we all win. We all make a difference if we stop the competing, stop the
Right.
comparing. You know, it's not a race. We're not who's first, who's second, who's third. You know, we're all number one. We all have a journey in life, and we all need to start supporting and connecting. Stay connected and see how you can help one another, you know,
Mhm.
and stop the gossiping. Like women, we need to just stop it. Like, you know, but I think that's our way of connecting sometimes, you know,
Mhm.
because we don't know the proper way of sharing and
Mhm.
opening up because maybe we're scared.
Mhm.
And I like to talk about dreams and visions and where we can make a difference.
Right.
Uh, so when you sit with me, I don't like to talk about, oh, this lady didn't do this, or you know, she didn't take care of her kids. She didn't. Let's just stop all of that. You know,
Mhm.
there's no instruction books that comes with the perfect mom. You know, we all have our own journey. We all learn our own lessons. You know, and
Right.
then we take what we've learned as a child, because if our mom has told us, well, this is the way you punish a child, well, then
Mhm.
we 9 out of 10 times we're going to do what we were
Right.
taught, you know,
Right.
because it's like a child when they're born. They weren't
Mhm.
born to hate or to judge or, you know, be racism. It was taught to them. It was all a lesson. So we can give new lessons. We can teach each other to make a difference, you know, support one another. And if you don't like something what a woman's doing, just, you know, just don't worry about it. Just do your thing. Like, at the end of the day, you have to look at yourself. You have to be okay
Right.
with yourself and say, you know
Yeah.
what? Okay, today I did the best I could. But
Right.
if we're competing and comparing and gossiping, we're not creating anything. We're just
Yeah.
we're creating more of a distance,
Yeah.
and nothing gets solved. So yeah, so just be you and stop gossiping. Talk
Yeah.
about visions and dreams and things like that. Have a cup of tea and talk about the good stuff, you know, where you
Right.
want to be in 5 years. Do a vision
Yeah.
board, you know,
Mhm.
plan a trip. Do a retreat with girls, whether it's a
Right.
weekend retreat or a 1 day thing away,
Yeah.
you know, just find different things.
Right. Yeah.
So
That's so true. And as we are on a this platform where we try to inspire and motivate through our stories, through our talk shows, what message would you like to give to our audience or our listeners?
the message I'd like to give is just stay connected and work from the heart. That's the only way we're going to create a change in this world, is work from the heart, work from the
Hmm.
passion, and
Right.
take your pain and turn it into a purpose.
Hmm.
Don't,
Right.
you know, stand on your story. You've gone through something, stand on it. Be proud of it because it made you who you are today. And we all break. I broke. I break every day. But if we don't break, the light doesn't come in. And we
Hmm.
can't create change if we don't break. So it's
Yeah.
okay to break. It's okay to cry. It's okay to say, you know what, today I can't do it. You know, it's okay to say, you know, today I can't show up for this meeting. I know you guys are really depending on me, but I can't do it. It's okay to not be okay because
Hmm.
today might just be a hard day. So
Right.
yeah, for the listeners out there and the viewers, just don't give up. Just be you. Be true to yourself, you know?
Yeah.
And not everybody has to like you. Not everybody's going to be your cup of tea. And
Yeah.
that's okay. Like, I don't want everyone to love me. If everyone loved me, then I'm doing something wrong. I'm really
Right.
not being authentic and true to myself. So I don't
Yeah.
want everyone to like me and love me. I
Yeah.
want that person to say, you know what? I don't like her. I don't like what she
Hmm.
has to say.
Hmm.
How dare she say that to me? You know, who gives her the right to say this? My story is my story, and I am who I am. And that's all I can offer to the world. I can just give me. And I'm just a simple lady who thinks I'm going to make a difference with a cup of tea. And I am.
Right.
And I will be making more changes in the world. So, uh, September 18th, I will be speaking live in Detroit, Michigan for the Sean Fair Leadership Experience Tour. And I will be serving tea. So If anybody would like to check that out, it is going to be in person and virtual, so you can get your tickets for that. And I want to show the world that simple things can make a difference.
So. That's great. And as you are sharing about this event, we would be happy to share in description as well. Last but not least, how you define your leadership qualities as you are determined to change the world in your own way.
Well, for me, a leader is not about me. A real leader is about the people. I work for the people. A lot of people say, Miss Liz, you inspire me. I inspire you because I want to see you grow. Mm-hmm. Because when you grow, I grow. When you win, I win. So that's the leadership that I offer to the world. I offer growth of others.
Right.
Because when they grow, I will grow. And I really, really get a good feeding. It's like giving me a bowl of chocolate ice cream. When I see another woman winning, it is joy for me. I'm the first person to say, you know what? I want to share that. Can I share that? Can I share your growth? Can I share how you won? Oh my God, you have a new book coming out. Oh, let me share it so the next lady can get it. Whether I get the book or not, I still want to support my fellow sister from all over, because as a child, that's what I wanted. I wanted somebody to just share me, like, you know, but share me not in the way that I was shared, because I went through a lot of abuse, but I mean, share me so that I can make a difference, and share you so you can make a difference. All the incredible work that you've done as well, you know, I'd be honored to share it. And sharing this platform, I'd be honored to share it, because I know that when we share, we grow. We create a change. We create that ripple effect that we're all looking for, you know, and we need to fix each other's crowns, because we're all queens. We all make a difference, you know, even little girls. I have a granddaughter, and my granddaughter is going to be the next leader out there. Like, I keep telling her, you're going to be the next leader. You're going to make a difference, because Oma's going to teach you your cup of tea, and you're going to make a difference. And with my daughters, I tell them, just be you. You know, the right boy will like you. The right boy will make a difference. And if the right boy doesn't like you, if it's a woman that likes you, you know, I'm still going to love you, because you're being you. Just be authentic, be you.
Right. So when we are talking all about developing, you know, each other, growing and supporting each other, how you see a platform of this, where we are today, Global Women Dialogue?
I see this as an opening door, as a gateway, as women connecting, because I have checked out your platform. I have checked out some of the previous women that have been on. Just stay connected. Stay connected to your guests, and know that if you need something, reach out. I might not have the answers, but the next guest might have the answer, you know, and this is how we can help each other grow. So I might be able to help you with mental health, where another lady might be able to help you with the abuse stories. Or, you know, I've lived through a lot, so I can speak on a lot. I don't speak on things I haven't gone through. I don't feel that is right to do. That is not my, I'm doing more injustice when I speak on things I haven't lived through.
Right.
How dare I speak of something I haven't lived through? And that's why I said, like, the services and programs. How dare you tell me that you're going to fix me if you have never been broken?
Right.
And I think that's where we're going to fix the systems, and we're going to fix the governments by saying, you know what, live it, then talk to me. You help me when you have experienced it. And that's how we're going to make a difference.
Right. So that's a lot, and a lot of learning, a lot of vision, a lot of passion, and a lot of story we hear from you, Elizabeth, in very short time. And thank you. Thanks a lot for sharing all these awesome work you are doing all around the globe. As whatever way you are doing, it seems so perfect and so incredible that how it is inspiring and motivating and helping women around the globe. So keep going on, and all the very best for your future and present. And as you hear from our today's speaker, Elizabeth, she shared about her work, how from simple things she is creating the change in her life as well as in others' life as well. And in the same way, we are always sharing and caring, and we always say, grow together and develop together. We are here to bring these speakers to inspire you, to motivate you. If you have any more question and would you like to get connect with the Elizabeth, we are going to put her details in the description as well. And if you have any question or comment, please put in the comment for Elizabeth or as well as for us. We would be trying to answer and bring in our upcoming episode as well. See you in the next episode. Till then, stay connected. Take care. Bye-bye.